I'm Kathy Hester. Welcome to my kitchen. I'm going live on a Monday like a crazy person. Happy Memorial Day. Definitely happy Memorial Day if you're in the US. Cheryl's actually doing the cooking and I wasn't going to go live, but we went to Sprouts. And actually I don't need this here. Give it a little more space. And I got the best sale. So I had to talk to you guys about this. And I found last night that the Ninja Creami, so the actual Ninja site, is having $70 off the Creami and free shipping. So depending on where you're watching this, it's all around. Now, if you're watching this, this is Memorial Day 2022. And at least the Ninja sale goes until through June 1st, I think. So Julie Hassan and I are doing a live, I think it's at 3 p.m. tomorrow, and we're gonna demonstrate the Ninja Creami. And I know some of you guys have seen that. Hey, Kimmy. And I'm gonna show you these blueberries. I got the best sale at Sprouts, you guys. So a Ninja Creami has little pints that fit in here, and we can make nice cream, ice cream, all kinds of vegan and plant-based goodies. And Julie and I are going to make two for you tomorrow. So she's going to make a coconut rum ice cream that's vegan, of course, always. And Julie and I are both gluten-free and vegan. And I'm going to make like a whole food plant-based nice cream version of Dole Whip. And in fact, if you watched yesterday, you saw me prepare that pint, which was so difficult. It's super easy to use. So basically, and actually, where did I move? I think I moved the pints over here because I have some pints I need to put in. So you have to use the Ninja pints. These 3 come with the one that's on sale. So on sale for $170. Hey CJ, it's awesome to see you. And it is a normal day, I believe, in Scotland, but if there's holidays in Canada or the UK or someone else, please tell me. And so I stumbled upon, so it's usually $2.19, and with the coupon it's $159.99. And so you can also get this on sale at Costco right now with 3 of these. If you buy these separately, they're 2 for $20 or 4 for $30 usually. On the Ninja website, I think they're 4 for $35. But it's not on sale on Amazon or anything like that, which is why I'm giving you this link. I'm getting ready to do a whole shebang's worth of videos and recipes all summer long with this, and I don't know if it's going to go on sale later or not. I just don't know. So that's why I'm telling you about this, because $159.99 is a pretty good price. Now let me tell you this, if you're like, I have no budget for this, that's okay. Remember, you can still make nice cream in your food processor, high-speed blender, or however you've been making it. What I like about this is that I can either blend stuff up in my Vitamix or smash bananas in here with a little bit of vanilla and some non-dairy milk. Then you put the lid on, freeze it. Hey, X-Flox. And aha. Oh, and happy pre-May Day next Monday. May Day is in June? So you may have to explain this holiday to me, this UK. And hey, Valerie. I don't think I put Kimmy up on the screen. And XF Flonks. You guys on Twitch have the best usernames. So what I did yesterday literally is I took a can of crushed pineapple and pineapple juice and I put it in here and I put it in the freezer. So you put whatever you're going to do. Smoothies included. You can make your smoothie bowls in here. So whatever you're going to do, freeze it for about 24 hours. Then when you take it out, you put it in here, and it's called spinning because the blade spins and it makes it really creamy, even though there's no cream or fat or maybe less sugar in there. So there's all kinds of cool things. So one of the reasons I like the Ninja is because the cleanup is easy. I take this pint, I can put it in the dishwasher. Same thing for the lid, though I don't. If you're not using coconut milk, just a little swish seems to do it. This blade comes out. Nothing really gets caught in there anyhow. And just so you can kind of see, this has little things that go in here, which holds it while the high-speed thing is spinning. And then you put this lid on. And again, you can watch tomorrow and you'll see some recipes. Just those of you who didn't see yesterday, I want to give you an idea of like, because you're probably like, well, what is this ninja thing that she's telling me about? Oh, and CJ says I've lost track of the calendar. You and me both. And Liz Lena says I'm going to have to put an addition on if I buy any more appliances, but I want this. I preach into the choir. Like, and so the thing is because I do cookbooks and recipe develop, right now I only have one of these, but typically I end up with more than one of each appliance. So behind where you think it's pristine like it is back here, it's not. It's full of Instant Pots in the corner and on the floor and things like that. Oh, Diane said I bought a box of a dozen fresh Georgia peaches at Trader Joe's yesterday. I need to go there. Any ideas for peach ice cream or sorbet? Absolutely. What I would probably do, you're going to need to skin them. So if they're super ripe peaches, then you can peel the skin off. If you just got them at Trader Joe's yesterday, they're probably not that ripe. Hey, good afternoon, Jackie. It's awesome to see you guys here for this impromptu excitement. So Diane was asking for peach recipes. So for those of you who didn't just buy fresh peaches, if you get some canned peaches in peach juice, you can just put it in there. I often go ahead and blend it if it's not crushed. So if it was peach halves or something, I probably would toss it in the blender, then put it in the Creami pint with a little bit of non-dairy milk of your choice. It could be sweetened or unsweetened. Usually I use unsweetened almond because that's what I have. Ooh, and Diane, because Diane, you just got your Creami this week or yesterday, Diane, and she made some strawberry ice cream and ate it today. It's awesome. It's really fun. So with the peaches, with the fresh peaches, you might need to boil some water, dip them in the hot water, let them cool so you can get the skins off easily, and then take them off from the pit. Then I would puree it. If they're super sweet and ripe, you probably won't need to add any sweetener at all. If you do, you could put a little bit of date syrup, maple syrup, agave nectar, or a homemade vegan simple syrup, which all that is. And actually, what I do, I make a super easy simple syrup, and this week I'm probably going to make my lavender one for you guys. And so what I usually do is put about a cup of vegan sugar in here. You could push it a little bit, and then I just put hot water from the kettle and I mix it up with a spoon, and then I can shake it a little bit, and then I have liquid sweetener, right? So you can do that with brown sugar, you can do that with coconut sugar, you can do it with any vegan sugar that's granulated. Also, sneak peek, how I make my lavender syrup is then I have a little tea, why can't I think of it? It's the thing, a tea strainer. Yeah. And no, I've not been drinking except for Earl Grey iced tea. It's just how my mind's working today. And I put about a tablespoon of lavender buds in there, dry lavender buds, and I let it sit till it cools. Then I take it out, shake it up real good, and then I have lavender syrup I store in the fridge. You could do that with rose petals. You could do that with jasmine flowers. You could do it with so many different things. So that brings me around to, if you need some syrup, Diane, you could make a flavored simple syrup, or with the peaches, I think peach and basil go really well together. If you have some basil leaves, that could be really cool. Peaches, everything goes well. All fruit to me goes well with mint. So a handful of mint in there could be good. What else with peaches? You could put a little bit of citrus, maybe a little bit of lemon or lime. Like you can make kind of a peach lemonade. sorbet, something like that. I'm trying to think of what else. And I'm not sure who you are, a Facebook user, but you're obviously on my team because you said Creami for the win. I know. And I'm really excited because I really did not think they were going to have a sale for the warm weather on it, which is also why I'm kind of going to be talking about it the next few days. And Diane just got hers this week. And I know, CJ, you got yours not that long ago, too. Oh, and Sue, I'll get you sorted in just a second. So Diane just got hers this week. So with peaches, I would do like a peach sorbet like that. And I would just pack in as much peaches because the fiber is going to help give you some fluff. If they're not sweet, you're going to have to add some sweetener. And then you can add some other things. You could also add a little amaretto. And now if you're adding actual alcohol, so like amaretto liqueur, I have a 0 alcohol amaretto. So I can put that in and I don't have to think about it. The alcohol is going to help it not freeze as much. So I would start with 1 to 2 teaspoons and see how that works. And it's going to depend on all the factors, like did you put other sugar in there, did you not, blah, blah, blah. Also, if you find that your stuff is freezing too hard, you could add something like that. But we'll talk about respinning as well. Okay, CJ's just arrived on Saturday. Okay, so I'm starting the vegan Creami revolution. And they're not paying me, by the way. I don't work for Ninja. I don't work for Ninja Creami. However, if they would like to hire me, I'm happy to work with them. But I am working on an ebook and I am going to be putting a bunch of content on the blog as well. And I suspect it's creeping into Kathy's Cooking Club too. So Sue said the problem she's had with her very first 2 batches was they came out crumbly and I had to respin it twice. And that's a really valid thing. So there are a couple things you can do. One, it means your freezer's probably really, really, really cold. Mine is. So you could let your pint sit out for about 5 to 10 minutes before. That's one thing. The other thing, and sometimes I'll just put fresh pineapple in there with a little juice. And when I go through the first spin, it could be really crumbly. And I mean like it looks like miniature Dippin' Dots crumbly. And I'll just add a little bit of non-dairy milk and then do my next respin. So one thing you can do, or you can do a combination of all these, is take it out a little bit early. You could add a little bit of liquid, and that works really well. And I rarely have to spin it 3 times. When I do, I usually have just fruit in there and fruit juice. So I have no added sugar and I have no added fat. And here's the thing. It does freeze much harder when you do that. And that's one of the reasons why I like the Ninja Creami over like a Cuisinart churning one that you keep the thing in the freezer, like the thing you freeze it in. I know it has a name. There's also an equivalent for your KitchenAid. It takes up a lot of room in the freezer, but if you use something that's like no sugar, no oil, no fat, it's great. It churns up really good and really nice. Typically, it doesn't churn up hard enough that you could really take a scoop of it and serve it. It's going to be really soft. So when I do it, we go ahead and eat it, but it's like a race before it melts. Because once I put it in a quart or I have another long thing where you can scoop it out, which helps. It just freezes hard as a rock. And so the same thing's happening in your pints. And Sue, I would love to know what ingredients you used for those first 2 batches, and we'll see if we can troubleshoot it a little bit more. So I see I have a bunch of more people, so I'm just going to mention this again really quick. The Ninja Creami is on sale on the Ninja site for $70 off if you use the coupon. Wherever you're watching this, look to where the thing is. You might have to click something to make it come out. I have the link you should go to and the code you need to copy and put in to get it $70 off, which is $159.99. It comes with 3 containers, no, free shipping, at least in the US. I can't guarantee for anyone else. And there you go. It's through June 1st, it said, but they could change that. And I'm going to be talking a lot about it. And in fact, I have mangoes that I'm going to be using, papaya, cantaloupe, some more pineapples. So the cantaloupe, I let it get really ripe, and I just put some mint in there. And I've been using a cutting board. Anita, if you're on the Facebook, you might have to click on this live video for it to become full screen, and then over one of the sides, I don't know which way I'm showing up. Wherever you see the words, it'll say all that. If you can't find it, just email me at kathyhester@gmail.com, and I can email you the information too if you have problems finding it. But I find the cleanup much easier than a Yonana. The Yonanas are great. You still have to let the fruit sit out for 5 to 10 minutes, which is what we might have to do if we're getting kind of crumbly ice cream to begin with in the Ninja Creami. So Sue is saying soy milk in both, banana and papaya in one, blueberry in the other. So there was no sweetener whatsoever, right? And that's what I would say. Well, and there's probably a little bit of fat from the soy milk, but there's probably, I find that I'm putting fruit up. Where did I put? Is it in here? Yeah. I end up putting fruit, and it kind of depends on how much fruit I have, to about here, and then about there, maybe a 1/4 cup or less. Sometimes I'm only using, if I'm making banana and ice cream, or when I'm making my Dole Whip and I have the pineapple frozen, it might end up being 2 tablespoons to a 1/4 cup. So that's still not a lot of fat. So I think the more that we're using fruit, it's being sorbet. So Sue, what I would have done, okay, date powder in the banana blueberry. And I think that's going to be part of the issue right there. So I recommend that you use date syrup or pureed dates. The date powder isn't like vegan sugar or brown sugar or any of that. So like if I put date sugar in here and tried to make a date syrup, it's never going to dissolve because it's actually dehydrated date, right? So it doesn't dissolve. And that would be one of the things I think that would make it extra powdery. And I think if you use, and it depends on, some people are okay with using date syrup. Some people would rather use date paste. So you could just, if you're making these blends in your blender already, you could throw like a soft date in there, pitted, of course. Or you could go ahead, like a lot of times I don't get the fancy dates. I get the dried, harder dates, and those I just cover in hot water or cook on the stove with hot water for a little bit and then let it soften up and then puree it into a paste. So I think that would be better, personally. And I hope that helps, Sue. And I realized yesterday when I was doing my, 2 days ago when I was doing my unboxing, all the days go together. Okay, great, that helps a little bit, yeah. Date powder is so confusing because I learned the hard way about date sugar. So, and date powder, I'm assuming is date sugar, but if it's something different, if it's finer, it might be okay, but it still isn't going to dissolve. So there we go. And the other thing, the 2 most important things, if your pints are coming out a little bit crumbly, is one, when you respin, which means we flatten out the top and we click the thing and it spins all the way down again, is add a little bit of liquid. Also, if I know it's something really hard, like I have an experiment that's going to be quite hard. There is some sugar in it, but it has a lot of this faux zero alcohol spirits in it. So I'm suspecting it's going to freeze pretty hard. I'm going to leave that out 5 to 10 minutes for two reasons. One, so it doesn't get crumbly. But the second reason is because I don't want to tax the machine either. You can't just put you can't fill this up with water. I've heard some people putting lemonade in it, but then lemonade has sugar, which makes it not as hard as an ice cube. And that's where there's some finagling to be done. And if you guys have some more questions about this, that's great. But I'm going to show you my other cool thing that I'm super excited about. I wasn't super excited about going to the store, but then you see this 5 pounds of blueberries from Georgia, and I live in North Carolina, and I checked these before, there's going to be a couple of berries that you're going to have to take out always. Look at these 2 boxes I got. How much do you think I paid for these? Because it's magic. There's another one I'll take out. And I checked some of these, and some of them did not look good. Some of them definitely had more smushed ones on top than these. So this is 10 pounds of blueberries. 10. So, okay, first we'll talk about, these were like $9.99 each. So that's $2 a pound, which is super cheap. In fact, I'm not sure that I would have gotten them cheaper had I gone to a pick your own blueberries. Our blueberries aren't ripe here yet in North Carolina. They probably will start ripening in the next few weeks to a month. And you might be going, okay, crazy blueberry hoarding lady. How long do you think these are going to last? Just sitting here or just sitting in the fridge, right? They'll probably only last about a week. But with 2 boxes, I'm going to dehydrate some of these. And that means, so in dehydrating them, I can rehydrate them and use them in things like pies or ice creams. Dry, I could put it in oatmeal. I could also make dry oatmeal mixes to give for Christmas presents or something like that. I can make a dried blueberry muffin mix or pancake mix to give away for holidays or holiday gifts, birthday gifts, whatever like that. So I'm going to be dehydrating some of these, and you guys can hang out with me while I put some on. The other one, I'm going to use some to make in the Creami, because you knew that was coming. So I was thinking probably a blueberry lemon balm or lemon sorbet, kind of a combo. If I wanted these blueberries to retain their texture in the Creami, what I would do is make a vanilla ice cream or a lemon ice cream. And then I would spin it and then probably put frozen blueberries and just kind of mix them in by hand. Oh, Kathy's saying, do we celebrate Memorial Day in North Carolina? When we visited my daughter who lived in South Carolina, that it wasn't celebrated. It is. It's a bank holiday, a postal holiday, and everything. So, yep. I mean, I don't know how much. We're having vegan hot dogs and baked beans, and Cheryl is cooking them on the grill because I think if you on my newsletter, we had a bird build a nest in our grill. We don't know when it happened. And it wasn't a spring nest. Like there's no bird droppings or anything, but it was inside. But Cheryl cleaned that out, and we also found that the grill we got 8 years ago or 10 years ago had a recalled part, so she fixed all that yesterday. So she's gonna do grilling. And in fact, Julie Hassan and I are gonna be doing a show, Kitchen Toys Summer Edition, where we're doing Creami tomorrow. One of the things we started talking about was using one of those smoker boxes in our grills. So keep up for that one too. Okay, I'll see if I can go back on track. So, because of the blade going through, it would shave the fruit. right? Because we're putting frozen bananas in there, it's turning into ice cream. So if you wanted chunks of blueberries, spin your vanilla or lemon ice cream as usual, then stir in. That's how you would put some fruit in. Like a mix-in that's hard, like chocolate chips or nuts or something like that. There is a mix-in button, but I'm gonna do some extra experimentation, but the fruit is a little iffy. Also, with the dried blueberries, I can make blueberry powder to then make blueberry milk. I can use these to make blueberry syrup. I could use dried ones to make blueberry syrup too. I'm just very excited about drying some of them. And then I'm just going to freeze some of the rest. You just put them in bags and you put them in the freezer. So $20 for 10 pounds. So I got these at Sprouts. I don't know if it's at Sprouts all over. These are Georgia grown, so chances are if you get any produce from Georgia where you are, you might have them. These were $15 off a box. So these were normally $25 a box, and they were $10 a box. So you should go get some. And I was at the one near South Point Mall if you're local to me. So I'll just show you. Yeah, $20. For 10 pounds. It's crazy. That's like you pick it prices. And it's from Newberry Farms. And I've got my trusty Nesco out, which we've talked about a little bit. But let's see. Okay. This is not a fancy blender. This is not, you know, a multi-$100 Excalibur. It's not the dehydrator function on my Breville that's expensive. If you go to your local thrift store, you may not find it on your first try, but you might find it eventually. And so basically, this is just a fan. And it's got a little temperature, and over here it says what to do for fruit, and it says for fruits and vegetables 135 degrees. Mine has these little nets in it, and then they also have some jelly rolls. So it's just multiple ones on top of each other. And dehydrating is easy. And I've never dehydrated blueberries before, so we'll see if I end up getting amounts right or not, but I'll do one batch. And I think this will probably be about a box of them. Woo! One's escaping. I think it's because it's hot outside. I know, I can't believe, and they look awesome. And Kathy says, someday I want to see where you keep all your toys. I might need to buy a house for all the toys I like. I know. Well, when I had 20 slow cookers, I lived in 1,100 square feet house. So we kept them on the sun porch. Should I put more in there? Yeah, I think I should. I think I can. It'll just mean I have to let them go longer. What I love about dehydrating, and because I've got my little kitchen garden going on the deck, I have like a mild jalapeno plant that I've been telling you guys. I got 3 of them so I can make some mild jalapeno powder for Cheryl. And so 3 of them grew, and I dehydrated those 3, and I can even show you that. It's kind of cool. It's not a lot. You're going to be like, why are you showing me this? So what's going to happen is every time there's one, and then I'm going to fill this up. And at the end of the summer, I will grind it up in my spice grinder, and I'll have some powder. So you don't have to have everything ripen at the same time. Well, I would love to have that happen, but I don't really know how to make nature bend to my will yet. Perhaps someday, right? And you guys, dried blueberries and strawberries are super expensive. So if you have like a pick your own strawberries or something like that, go ahead and pick some and freeze some. There are lots of places that are more marked organic, and just anything like this that's wet, we're just going to set that to the side. We want only the best for our dried blueberries. I'm sorry, I thought you were getting to see all the blueberries, but you are not. So I see that some people have come on. So what you're seeing, I actually at Sprouts in Durham, North Carolina, got these 2 boxes of 5 pounds of blueberries for $10 each. There was a big sale. So if you have one near you, I encourage you highly to check it out. Let's see, that may be a little bit overkill. I think we can put a few more on here. Let's see about here again. See, I'm changing how I feel about this. And I've got to check and see when my creamy pints come in, because if they're coming in tomorrow, well, you know what, I'm probably going to eat some tonight, so I want to make a couple of pints, and I'll probably make a pint with some blueberries. Someone says blueberries are always favorite. I love berries, like love berries. And I've been making a lot of dry mixes, and actually I made some in the Dehydrator class, which I called Dehydrator 101 powders or something like that. We made a veggie broth from actual dehydrated vegetables. Okay. So that didn't even use all of it. That used about 1/5 of it. No, about 4/5 of it. I think I still have a couple of pints left in there, which will be great. I could either make a syrup, an ice cream, and so then all I have to do is plug this in, put it on 135. Okay, I'm looking at Celsius, which is not helping. Put it on 135. I'll let you guys see that here. And you can sort of see here, it tells you kind of what to do. And that's pretty much it. And then I'll go to sleep, and tomorrow I'll check. And usually things dehydrate anywhere between 5 to 12 hours. These are pretty juicy blueberries, so I'm expecting them to push towards 10 to 12 hours. Never done a berry this juicy whole. So the strawberries I did before, I sliced them. So it didn't take very long at all. But this is going to be very interesting. And I was kind of really wanting to find some berries to do this with. And like I said, also then I could freeze some of these. Oh, yay, Anita ordered her Creami. You're going to love it. And make sure that you guys come on to watch me and Julie Hassan tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you go wherever you are, on Facebook, the announcement went out on all the different pages. It also went out on YouTube, but you can always just search Kathy Hester on YouTube. And if you go to my channel, you'll see at the top the upcoming lives. Another thing to know is Chef AJ is going to be on my plant-based chat on Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And she's going to make a cherry cobbler, smoky sweet potato burgers, and I think a mango salsa. She's making a salsa though for sure. So this is like big video week. And I'm actually going to be working on some other videos that'll be posted that aren't live. But keep asking me your creamy questions, Ninja Creamy questions for sure, because like I said, I am working on a book right now for it. So the more questions you ask me, the better I can really make it for you. Oh, and someone said, how exciting. It's going to be self-published this time, and this will probably, unless I get some, it's going to start off as an ebook anyhow, and we can talk about it. If I had several hundred people that want it to be a paperback after that, we can talk about that. Because then I have another idea that I'm going to be making a self-published paperback after that. Oh, that's awesome. Anita's going to be interviewed on Chef AJ October 4th, so make sure to check that out too. We love to support our awesome community members. Kathy said, will the Creami be on sale after today? What it said yesterday, I did not reread it today, is that it was on, that coupon code should work through like midnight June 1st. I don't know what time zone. But if you, once you go through that link and there's information on it that you can see, the link will take you directly to the Creami page too. I suspect when the sale is over, I would be really surprised. I was surprised that they had a sale now for it, because I would think now's the time that people would be buying it. But who knows? So awesome. And Anita says she's going to cook a mushroom vegetable lasagna and veggie pot pie. That sounds delicious. And we're having veggie dogs and baked beans, so it sounds maybe extra delicious. Oh, and this is a great one. Diane says, what about making ice cream with almond Kite Hill yogurt, unsweetened? So I've used a couple of different yogurts. In fact, I have made a mango lassi ice cream in the Creami twice. So I took 2 mangoes and then I filled most of the rest of it up with unsweetened non-dairy yogurt. And I used, I believe, either a little agave nectar or a little maple syrup. I might have used date syrup. Date syrup would have worked really well with that. I put a little bit of mint and a little bit of rose water in it, and it churned up beautifully, really beautifully. And Kathy's excited about Anita being on Chef AJ's show. And these are all great questions. I'm getting to all of you. Sue, regarding storing the leftovers, I just put them back in the freezer. When I took it out, it was rock solid. How can I store it without having to spin it again? What do I do? Add-ins, am I up a creek? Okay. I think you stored it incorrectly. So we talked about this. So let's say I made smoothie bowl. I took half of this and I wasn't very hungry. I wanted to have the rest of my smoothie later. I just actually keep the leftovers in the container and spread it flat. So, because you want this to be as flat, plain as possible. So, and then I just respin it and then it's perfect and ready to go. That's one of the reasons why I like the Ninja Creami, because if we put these like whole food plant-based options, ice cream options in the freezer, they freeze hard as a rock and they don't really get creamy. And so for a while in the beginning, like Cheryl and I would have some and then I would have like, I don't know, a quarter or half a cup left over. And I was putting it in something little and just kind of scraping it, making it like an icy. I say don't do that. I don't know how far, I know at least halfway down, probably even to a third of the way down, I mean 2/3 of the way down, you could probably just smooth it back down, put that lid back on and put it in the freezer. That's what I would do, Sue. And if you have it in another container now, what I would do is loosen it under hot water. If it's small enough to fit in here, maybe even soften it enough that you can spread it out solid, because these guys actually indent in so it doesn't just spin the ice around, so it has to freeze into those bottom crevices. So I would definitely unfreeze it in some way as much as possible to get it in there and mold it. You could stick it in the microwave or let it sit out for long enough for it to be soft enough, like a slushie, and then freeze it back in there. So that's exactly what I would do. So Liz, how different is the final product than if you put the frozen fruit and plant-based milk in the Vitamix? I don't usually use my Vitamix when I was making ice cream because it irritates me. I also don't like to use my tamper. So that could be a self-imposed problem. But what I would use is the food processor because I found like it cut it up more and it would get creamier. I felt like from Yo Nana to Vitamix to food processor. Food processor was my preferred one. I feel like the Ninja Creami texture is definitely more like an ice cream. I can scoop it up. If you want to watch Saturday's unboxing video, it's near the end. Everybody's like, demo the Creami, and so I did. And you can see then, or Liz, go ahead and watch tomorrow, because remember, you can still get the discount tomorrow. And then see what you think. I think it makes a sorbet and like a Dole Whip that looks like it came out of a carton. I mean, and some of the things that I've, just with a little bit of non-dairy milk and things that have gotten much creamier. And it's just because it's this shaving blade. So it's just different than kind of using a food processor blade. This is kind of a modeled after, or at least a look-alike, a consumer version of the Paco Jet. And the Paco Jet has this, and so what happens, there's a thing that goes through here and pushes that blade as it goes through to the bottom, and then it comes back up, okay? And because it's shaving it so finely, because when we have one of those Cuisinart things that we've got our stuff in, it's scraping the ice crystals from the side, right? So it's kind of doing exactly the opposite. And while a Vitamix, a food processor, even a Yo Nana does a decent job, and if you have that and you like it, there's no need to get anything else. I was not satisfied with it. I hate getting my food processor out to clean it. It irritates me. With this, I take this blade out, I move the notch at the top, the blade comes out, I hand wash this, but this can go, any of these can go into your dishwasher, but I'm just trying to save it. This and the little lid, they go in the dishwasher. And maybe I wash this every once in a while, but I mean, nothing should get in there except for when I, don't scoop properly or a piece comes out. So Liz, I hope that helps a little bit. And let's see. Yeah, this machine. Hi, Lothaba. Awesome to see you here. Yeah, this kind of machine is like a Paco Jet, which is a commercial thing that does the same thing. So if you've ever eaten a fancy sorbet at a fancy restaurant, they probably used a $10,000 Paco Jet to shave it, which is kind of what we're doing. It's not like shaved ice either. It's much smoother and much smaller than that. So hopefully that's helpful. Pamela says, what's the shelf life of dehydrated blueberries? That is an excellent question. And I don't know yet because this is my first batch, but I'm thinking if you dehydrate it, and I do know this, with dehydrated food, so if you're dehydrating something and it's leathery and bendable, its shelf life is going to be significantly less than something that you could snap. So the more water that comes out of something like that, the longer the shelf life. So I would assume, I'm going to guess 6 months to a year, but I could be wrong. And Marilyn isn't on, and Marilyn's dehydrated everything. But I am going to do a post about this, so I'll be doing some research. So Pamela, I promise I will check that out. And Kathy says, wonder why the top has to be smoothed out. If the blade goes around, you'd think it would eventually wind itself into the frozen stuff, even if it was uneven. What can happen if it's not super even? And especially if it's like this, then the blade will tilt and you'll get plastic in there. The main complaint that I see on Amazon reviews and some other reviews is that people aren't smoothing that out, and then they're mad that the blade isn't coming down even. So it kind of comes down like that, which then means it's going to scratch your container, which can lead to you getting, something like plastic in your food. But if I've had, like when you see those, they have scratches on these. I have no scratches on any of mine. And even if you, because sometimes when you freeze, it freezes up like a volcano. I just take a tablespoon and just scrape it, and it scrapes off like a granita. Easy peasy. And if it doesn't, let it sit 5 minutes and it will. So that's pretty easy. Oh, awesome. Liz is going to watch tomorrow. It's going to be so much fun. I love hanging out with Julie, and you guys are too. And Sue says, thank you. I added nuts and chocolate chips in, so I'm thinking I can't spin it again. So I will add those in my bowl and not use the added function. So I see what you're saying. So what she's saying, so if we wanted to add in chocolate chips or something like that, we'd spin it, and then there's an add-in. So it goes slower to kind of just mix it in and not shave everything. We were talking about that with the blueberries a little while ago. But you know, with the nuts, it should go through fine. It might go through, but it might actually just shave all of it into the ice cream. If you were going to try that, I would let it sit 10 minutes first, just to make sure everything got soft enough to try, because the most important thing is you don't want to break that machine. You know, $160 machine, I tend to take care of. It's not as much as the Malto that I was showing you guys before, but it's also probably not as sturdy. Remember, the Paco Jet, like the Paco Jet Junior is like $4,000. And we're looking at something that is typically around $200. So we just need to be more careful. This is not a commercial machine, right? It's a home use machine. And let's see. Liz is saying the dishwasher is definitely a plus. I know. Well, and just the fact that even though sometimes, like if I've put pineapple chunks in here, sometimes a pineapple chunk might get stuck in one of those. That's the only time I've had to put any active effort into it. So I feel pretty good about that. Hey Lydia, it's awesome to see you. And Lydia, we were talking a lot about the Ninja Creami, and I went to Sprouts and got 10 pounds of blueberries for $20. And the Ninja Creami on the Ninja site is on sale, $70 off with the coupon. Wherever you're watching, up above, if you need to click something to open it up, I've given you a link and the code so you can go get it. And we're going to, tomorrow at 3 p.m., Julie Hassan and I are going to make some yummies for you, and we can answer some more questions too. We're going to start off basic, but Julie and I may do more creamy stuff. We were talking about doing different kitchen toys, otherwise known as kitchen appliances, as we go along. Okay guys, I hope if you are celebrating Memorial Day, you're having an amazing one. If you had to go to work, I'm really sorry, but I've been working all day too, so maybe that helps a little bit. But I just couldn't not share these with you. Lydia, the reason you didn't realize I was doing a live is neither did I. I went to a store. I was thinking about mentioning the Creami, and I sent it out in a newsletter. Also, somewhere around here it says something about get my 4 most popular spice blends. When you do that, it signs you up on my newsletter so that you find out about when lives are happening, except for today, it was impromptu. Recipes, different kinds of things, so you can stay in the know. Oh, thanks, Kathy. It was nice for you guys it was nice to see everybody. And this was super fun. I just want to make sure if you're interested in the Ninja Creami, you don't miss the sale. And if you're somewhere where you can get 5 pounds of blueberries for $10, I want you to do that. I'm going to dehydrate these, and we'll talk about those at some point, but I'm definitely going to put how to do it on the blog. Probably a video as well. Oh, thanks, Anne. It's awesome for you to be here. I appreciate it. I appreciate all of you guys. And yeah, I'm going to go get out of the kitchen so Cheryl can cook us up some food. I get the cooking day off, which is kind of awesome. But you guys have an amazing day. I'll see you back here tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Julie, okay?